Hey, I went ahead and picked up some other stuff for the Switch. I had like $7 store credit at GameStop, and I went to the grocery store, and the GameStop was right next to it. So I went ahead and got another $10 card. What I got is Implosion and Mighty Gunvolt Burst. Now, there's been a ton of content for this game, so it's probably not something I'm gonna do for the channel, at least, aside from just random runs and stuff. But Implosion, I've seen basically nothing on. Apparently, it's like a mobile character action game. It was originally a mobile game, and I think it won like a ton of awards and stuff. And like the gameplay is not super deep. You know, it's not gonna like match like Bayonetta, which is coincidentally available on here. It's not gonna replace Bayonetta, but it is pretty solid. The customization is definitely pretty cool as well. It's not super deep so far. But for 12 bucks, I'm really enjoying it, and apparently the people who have played the mobile version said that this is the definitive version because you actually have buttons. I think on the handheld version or the mobile version, you had to use the touchscreen for like the heart attacks, which I could see being really awful. One reason why I don't really play mobile games at all. So they have this guy, he's like a new character, but I haven't messed with that stuff yet, so... I'm just gonna show a couple levels here. First is the customization system. Now most of this stuff is honestly pretty boring. Sometimes you'll get like... There are some cool ones like attack speed, but it seems like you have to grind quite a bit to get that. I don't have that. I finished the first chapter, and there's 4 chapters in total, so I finished about a fourth of the game. You have these that give you different moves. And then the rest is mostly just stats.
Avalon, you have...
So movement's pretty standard. You have a dash or dodge with, you can do it 3 times before there's a cooldown. I have a normal attack button and a heavy attack button. And the way that the combos work is it's pretty much Dynasty Warriors. You have like the C1, the C2, C3, C4, C5, so forth.
Ballistics protocol activated. Select panel for firing mode. Without ammunition, system AI will auto-switch to kinetics protocol. You have a 360-degree firing mode. Shield monitors online. Calibrating frequency modulation.
Silencing shield status.
If deflectors are knocked out and you do take physical damage, perform evasive maneuvers and give the onboard emergency nanomachines enough time to initiate repairs.
Hold up, Avalon. These traps were running back in the war, but they were not automated.
So, somebody is fixing the switch?
Forget it, Jake. It was probably modified after the mass evacuation by the last man standing. I wonder how many survived with these booby traps running.
You can see how, like, this is pretty nuts for a mobile game. You know, mobile games usually have pretty dumbed-down combat, tons of microtransactions and stuff, and garbage controls, at least in my opinion, but they've basically have fixed all the control issues by porting it to the Switch. Performance is really solid. I haven't really seen it or noticed it dropping any frames or anything. Of course, when I say that, I use a move that makes the frame rate tank, but for the most part, it's pretty stable.
Avalon, you're done here. I need you to begin a descent into the lower
So the levels
of
are
the
pretty
facility.
short, and that's
Continue
obviously a side
following the
effect of being a
signal
mobile game. You know, mobile games don't tend to have long levels because they're designed to be played for a couple minutes in short bursts throughout the day. But since this is a portable game on the Switch, it actually works pretty well. You can easily play through like 3 or 4 levels in like a 15-minute time span. So I'll go ahead and I'll play one more. Like I said, it's not super deep, but for 12 bucks it does the job. I know I'll be done with this game far before I have access to Bayonetta, and I've also played Bayonetta a million times, so nice to explore some other avenues here. The release schedule for the Switch is like really barren right now. I think just with my store credit and stuff, I've bought the majority of the things I want to buy. Next month I'll probably get Bayonetta. My friend gets it for me, and then I'll get probably Phantom Breaker, and then Bleed 2, and then that's like basically all I've been planning on getting. I love the platform, but I think that they're a little too paranoid of people hacking it because it has like a fraction of the functionality that the Vita has. Like, you can't even like use the web browser. I don't even think you can like play music on it. You know, in terms of functionality, the Vita is still better in like every way.
Wake up, Jake.
I honestly don't mind ports like this. I think people are too harsh on the ports, like I said in my review yesterday. Like, obviously, no one really wanted to take a risk on this platform because of how much the Wii U failed. And they obviously are working on a lot of big games, but none of them are going to be ready to show anytime in the near future. I imagine even at E3, there's going to be a lot of, you know, the classic shitty announcements, which are just going to be like logos and CG trailers with no gameplay. So I think that the whole point of my Switch port review series is to talk about the cool ports and games and stuff that are out right now that you can play if you have the platform instead of waiting, you know, however long it's going to take for better stuff to come out. So what I'll be covering in the future is I'll probably do Mighty Gunvolt Burst. After that, I believe Bleed 2 is out in about a week and a half, so I'll probably grab that. It is the epitome of the Nintendo tax. It's like $10. It's $10 on Steam, and they're charging $20 for it on the Switch. But now that they have the endless mode, I think that game has a lot more replay value. I'm glad the developer, that game is made by one guy. I'm glad that he had the foresight to add that, because people would be complaining. I think for $20 it does offer quite a bit of content, but you can still finish the game in under an hour. So I'll probably be grabbing that. Phantom Breaker, I'm kind of on the fence on. I've bought that game like 4 times already, and it doesn't seem like they made too many drastic changes. If I have the spare money for it, which I probably will, because the next few months seem like they're going to be pretty barren in terms of like projects I'll be doing. That'll be the next port review. But for now, I've done pretty much everything. I've done Earth's Dawn, I've done Skyforce, I already did Gunvolt, and now I just did Implosion. So if you have any other suggestions for ports that I should get, go ahead and let me know. I will be getting paid from Patreon in about a week, so I can probably grab some stuff. Bayonetta, I'm probably not going to do a port review on because people have already covered that in depth, and I've played the game a million times. So if my friend doesn't get it for me, I'm probably not going to bother with that next month. It's still too expensive. It's Nintendo taxed as well. I think that apparently it hasn't been selling that great. They definitely should have, I don't know, $40 would probably be a better price for it, but we'll see what happens. I think the Switch is definitely pretty barren right now. I mean, the only two original games I have for it are Fire Emblem Muso and Mighty Gunvolt Burst, and both of them are available on 3DS. So technically these aren't even original games either. I think a lot of good stuff is coming, which is why I made the push to get it now, but I looked at the release schedule and it definitely is barren. I don't think people are just shit posting when they're concerned, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure the next few Nintendo Directs and E3 are going to solve that problem. But look at all these rock solid ports. I haven't had any problems with any of these ports at all. They have all been really excellent. I think that the power of the Switch works great for smaller games, and it's a shame that people are saying that it has no games. Maybe it's lacking in original games. It's definitely lacking in really good third-party games, but there are a lot of good things to play on it. And the prices so far have been great. I mean, I paid $10 for Skyforce Reloaded, the same price it is on all the other platforms. It was not Nintendo taxed. Earth Wars or Earth Dawn is like a fraction of the price that it was that I paid for it. I think it's like a third of the price that I paid. So overall, it hasn't been too much of a big deal. The Gunvolt games for $30, that's pretty much what you would pay for them on other platforms if you can get this game on sale. And then Implosion, I don't know how this game was priced or monetized on mobile because I don't do mobile games. I can't stand mobile games, but for $12 so far, I'm really enjoying it. I should also mention it has a badge system. So you unlock these badges by completing certain objectives in the levels, and once you get a certain amount, it will give you these unlockables. So some of them are pretty boring. These are a couple arcs, which are the little equipment that you can get. This one's just credits. A big one right there is you get a whole other playable character at 24 badges. So these give you more rage, which means you can cast your moves more often. That's actually pretty good as well. This one gives a 20% attack speed. Yeah, I think it's movement speed as well, so that may make the game a lot faster. So these are worth going for. I've actually had a lot of fun grabbing these because they are usually pretty interesting objectives, and it does give some replay vibe because you can't finish the levels in like under 3 or 4 minutes each time, so it's nice to have a little bit of a incentive to play again. There also is the arc system and the item drops and stuff, which kind of help to give more incentive to play. Anyway, that's it. That's another Switch review. I can't really call it a port review because I haven't played the other the mobile version, but apparently, like I said, people have said that this is the definitive version of the game because it has actual buttons. I can't imagine it being that stable or solid to play on a touchscreen, which is probably why the game isn't super deep. Maybe their next one will be like a Switch exclusive game or something, and they'll be able to expand on it. But you could tell from the combat that actually is really advanced for a mobile game. That's not the kind of combat you expect from a mobile game. I think the only other mobile games that really come close to that is the Dynasty Warriors Unleashed and then Tales of the Rays, and this is kind of on par with that as far as I've seen. Anyway, if you want to get the game, it's like $12 on the eShop. I don't know how often it goes on sale. I just paid the base price for it because the eShop does not really seem to have massive sales like the PlayStation Store and Xbox stores do. So I just went ahead and bought it for $12. I'm definitely enjoying it. I think if it was priced a little higher than that, it definitely would be pushing it, but for $12, it's definitely offered enough value for me already. Anyway, catch you guys later. Peace.